Promised y'all this was coming a while ago, and I'm a man who keeps his promises. So I'm going to look at the lyrics to Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero and talk about why I find them so compelling and so refreshing. Um, Coming as they do, the song coming as it does, in the midst of all of the insanity, the induced insanity of our of our times. Now, I type in anti-hero. The first anti-hero lyrics. The first words to come up are for Lil Wayne and Lil Tecca. Tay Keith, fuck these niggas up. I ain't no hero. I guess I'm a villain. I got the kilo. I stretch it. I bend it. She got the pre-roll. I snatch it. I lit it. So, very different song there. So let me be a bit more specific for the search engine. Anti-hero lyrics, Taylor Swift. Okay, here we go. So there are so many female empowerment songs today. It's like, you have to sing a song about, I'm a goddess. You must respect me. You must bow down before me, especially if I'm 350 pounds. That means there's just more of me to worship, right? This song is the very opposite of that. This is a song about female self-loathing. Now, I don't know if it has to be limited to female self-loathing, because I think it has universal appeal, and that's part of what makes it great. But it is sung by a woman, and that's what makes it part of what makes it so refreshing. First verse: I have this thing where I get older, but just never wiser. Midnights become my afternoons. I have this thing that I get older, but never wiser. Yeah. So again, starting off on this, extreme self-deprecating note that age is supposed to bring wisdom, but it's not bringing that for our anti-heroine, the singer, the speaker in this song. When my depression works the graveyard shift, all of the people I've ghosted stand there in the room. All right, so an admission to having ghosted people. That's also that's refreshing, isn't it? Like, you sort of and a sort of an admission that that she was needlessly. It seems the implication is that she was needlessly dismissive of these people that she ghosted. Ghosting is one of those things. When I hear women complain about being ghosted, but women don't often talk about doing the ghosting, and I will dare to say that women do engage in ghosting far more than men do. I mean, it's sort of just the. It's almost standard operating procedure for women today to ghost somebody that they're not interested in, because the alternative is to say is to be direct and say I'm not interested in you. They don't want to do that because that's too confrontational, but they also just want to send the message without sending the message. So she's feeling haunted by the people who she's ghosted. That's interesting. Haunted by the ghosts. I love these lines, and these are the ones I spoke of before. She says, I should not be left to my own devices. They come with prices and vices. I end up in crisis. Tale as old as time. Not only is that great rhyming, but it's something it's a message that you just never hear, especially from a song sung by a woman. I should not be left to my own devices. They come with prices and vices. I need a steady hand. I need someone to take care of me, and someone to steer me in the right direction. If I'm left to my own devices, I go off in a direction that's not good. That leads to vices, and then I end up paying the prices, and I end up in crisis. Tale as old as time. Nothing new to this story. I wake up screaming from dreaming. One day I'll watch as you're leaving, 'cause you got tired of my scheming for the last time. So again, an admission to engaging in what she calls scheming behavior. Again, so all of this is very confessional, and self-deprecating, and it's not confessional in the sense of, you if you in that ridiculous sort of if you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best kind of way. There's nothing self-serving in these lyrics. This is just painfully honest, and direct admission to not having behaved well, and she's anticipating driving someone away from all of her scheming, all of her, I don't know if that's just like a reference to playing games, a reference to saying, would you still love me if I were a cactus plant? Would you still love me if I was 600 pounds? If I were 2 Lizzos, would you still love me? Would you love me if I smelled really, really bad all the time? But it's scheming suggests something worse than that. Scheming suggests, like going around behind his back and trying to do things that'll, to test him in different ways. Shit tests, right? And she's saying, I find myself doing these things, and I know that it will end up being the end of this relationship. I'll end up losing this person who I don't want to lose. And the chorus, it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. At tea time, everybody agrees. So, she, again, can't be much more direct than that. I'm the problem, right? It's I'm not justifying myself. I'm not saying you have to worship me. I'm not saying that I have all of my perfect imperfections, like that crappy John Legend song. That simpy John Legend song. I love all your perfect imperfections. No, nothing like that. So I'll again, great lines here. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. I can't tell you how much I love that line. That's so that's so honest. And again, this I'm speaking of this as like the anti-female empowerment song, but it transcends that. With lyrics like that, that's something that we can all say is true. We would rather stare directly at the sun, meaning engage in behavior that endangers us, that might make us go blind, but never in the mirror. Never. I'd rather do something that is dangerous and foolhardy than be honest with myself, look into my own eyeballs, and see who I really am. But then again, paradoxically, that is exactly what she's doing here in this song. Second verse. Oh, sorry. It must be exhausting always rooting for the anti-hero. I don't know if that's like a reference to her fans, like saying, you keep rooting for me. And I know that there's nothing heroic about me. I don't know why it's necessarily exhausting. There are some anti-heroes it's pretty easy to root for, if they have enough charm, if you can relate to them, I never found it exhausting to relate, to root for like Travis Bickle or the other literally me types of characters that you so often encounter. All right, second verse. Sometimes I feel like everybody is a sexy baby, and I'm a monster on the hill. Sexy baby. Everybody's a sexy baby. That's a reference to something. I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but just like the contrast. I feel like everybody else is appealing, and I'm a monster on the hill. I'm something that you would rather do without, and whose very presence just kind of ruins the mood. Gosh, I can relate to that in spades, I have to say. Too big to hang out. So again, not fitting in, Patrick Bateman. I was trying to think of his name. Like Patrick Bateman says, I want to fit in. Well, she can't, and too big to hang out. Slowly lurching towards your favorite city, like the monster, like Godzilla, pierced through the heart but never killed. Okay, so she thinks of herself now as she compares herself to like a Godzilla or a King Kong kind of creature, who gets hurt a lot, gets shot through the heart, but still around, much to everyone's chagrin. Everyone would like to get rid of her and all of her drama, and all of the destruction that she causes, but she's still around. She can't be killed for some reason. But she doesn't say that in a braggadocious kind of way. She says it in a way that's like, oh boy, it must suck for everybody else. Okay. More lines that I just love. Did you hear my covert narcissism I disguise as altruism like some kind of congressman? Tale as old as time. That's so great. I don't know if I've heard covert narcissism referred to in a song ever before. Certainly never referred to directly like this. But boy, isn't it true that we often disguise disguise our narcissism as altruism, and this is most oftenly we see this most often in the case of virtue signaling. Just that's the most common kind of way that we could talk about this, about where somebody puffs themselves up or wants to be seen as righteous or as supporting the new thing or whatever by getting on Twitter and saying, I strongly denounce anti-Semitism in all of its forms, or whatever. I'll wake up screaming from dreaming. One day I'll watch as you're leaving, and life will lose all its meaning for the last time. Once again, she's anticipating, losing the one that she hopes to keep, but that she can't, because she can't restrain herself from doing all the things that are driving him away. Again, so honestly, self-accusatory, so honestly self-deprecating and self-loathing, but not self-loathing in a way that where we're supposed to supposed to see. We're supposed to think, oh, come on, stop being so hard on yourself. Like, this is honest. This is honesty. This is the kind of things we would all admit if we were being honest. We would all admit something like this about ourselves. All right, again, the chorus, stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. Great line. All right, and then the third verse, she anticipates her death. That's an interesting thing, and how her how her family will react to her death. In fact, she predicts that she will be murdered by her daughter-in-law. I have this dream my daughter-in-law kills me for the money. She thinks I left them in the will. The family gathers round and reads it, and then someone screams out, "She's laughing up at us from hell." So she's predicting a future here in this dream where she's so hated by the people who know her that they only want the money that she'll provide, and so her daughter-in-law murders her. But then the joke's on them. They find out that she hasn't left any money to them. She's given all her money she's put all her money somewhere else, who knows where, but not with her family, who all of whom hate her. And now they say, "Oh, she's laughing up at us from hell." Like again, she hasn't even changed. Even death hasn't even having to face death hasn't redeemed her. She's now in hell. So kind of a bleak ending, right? I mean, but it's a bleak song insofar it's bleakly honest insofar as being a self-assessment of the truth about oneself. And again, this is such an antidote to the female empowerment song. It's such an antidote to the I am woman, I can do no wrong. Men want to keep me down, but that'll never happen. I'm sexy even though I'm 800 pounds. I'm you want me even if you don't admit it. Even if you don't want to admit it. I'm the best there is. Honey, wouldn't you like to break off a piece of me? All those sorts of things that you hear in female empowerment anthems. And like, these are the sort of things that we're expected to, if you're a woman, you're expected to just chant these things as a mantra. And if you are a sensitive new male, then you are expected to nod and say, yes, women are goddesses. Women are much better than men. Blah 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 blah. This song is an anti-empowerment song. It's a song about somebody who happens to be a woman. Because I don't think it's not necessarily just about women. As I said, as all great art does, it transcends the things that divide us, whether it's race or gender or whatever else. But it is interesting, certainly coming from a woman, hearing this kind of stark honesty. So those are my thoughts about Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero. Leave your thoughts below.